And howdy do, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer, and I'm back with my Rampant Double IPA. That's got a beautiful color, it really does. It's got nice carbonation, and I forgot to read from the bottle, which is why I'm doing a part 2 as I finish this beer. And that craving for hops start to take over in this Rampant Imperial IPA, proliferating with heavy peach tones. I didn't mention it, I mentioned some pineapple and papaya. There is some peach going on here. So, if I'd have read this before I started, I'd have sounded a little smarter, but there you go. Heavy peach tones, herbal sweetness, and aromatic complexity. Yeah, it kind of does that. Yeah, you do get some peach. I'm still getting more of those tropical notes than I'm getting peach, but again, it's probably just my palate. Brewed and bottled, New Belgium, Fort Collins, Colorado. This is one of those. They're one of the early. I don't know about one of the first, but they were really one of the early craft breweries that really grew roots, and was able to do well. And now, of course, we know there's just craft breweries popping up like weeds everywhere, which is a good thing. I kind of question how many of them are going to be able to last. It's going to depend on quality and pricing. But I am glad to see a lot of them popping up. There's one in St. Louis I really like called Civil Life. And the one thing I've liked about them is they're almost like a neighborhood brewery. They're kind of nestled in a neighborhood where I don't know if they'll ever get their products shipped everywhere, but they are in a lot of local bars and pubs, restaurants in the St. Louis area, and I think they seem to really have a good amount of neighborhood traffic, local traffic, and that's kind of nice. Where it's kind of that old school how things used to be before Prohibition, where almost every city, every little neighborhood, every small town had its own little place to go to, and that's kind of what it is. And I'm not talking about a pub; I'm talking about a brewery. Oh. Excuse me. Woo-wee! I have got I just put on a meatloaf, actually. I'm going to smoke a meatloaf today, along with, I've got some acorn squash going on. I'm going to do some other veg later, but I'm going to get these done first. Meatloaf. I decided to, I'm cheap, I'm cheap, man. So I went to my store this morning to see what might be marked down for a quick sale that I could grill this morning, and they didn't have much, actually, but they did have some 80-20 ground chuck and some ground pork, so I did a pork and beef mix. Sometimes I do pork, beef, and turkey. I don't usually do veal like many do in their meatloaf mix. I'm not a huge fan of the veal, but today it's just pork and beef, and then my own brand of seasonings. Oh wow! This is now back to the beer, man. You like how I drift all over the place? My mind is it's just all. I'm like it's one of those things a kaleidoscope. You shake it up and you look at it, it's one thing, and it keeps changing gears on you. But anyway, you know what? I'm kind of glad I picked this up because I hadn't done a video for it. I picked this up as Zeke's Pale Ale, 2 beers I've been walking by, but I bought them both today because both were on sale. And they're both beers I hadn't done videos for. The Zeke's was very interesting. It's only 5.129, but it's got some nice flavors. I'm going to call this Session Pale, but, for some 5.1 is out of the Session range. But I'm calling it Session because of the way it drinks. It's the perfect, what I would call a barbecue beer. Just something you could drink and enjoy at a barbecue. Gives you some flavor, but not so complex that you really have to do the whole pretentious, craft beer. Swish and swirl and be pretentious all day about it, stick your nose up in the air. It's just one of those you can have fun with. You got some flavor, but you can still enjoy everybody at the barbecue without spending all your time just serving all the flavors in your beer. At 8.5, this is not Session by any means. And actually, I will got to give it a big compliment right now, though. It almost feels like Session because it drinks incredibly easy. It doesn't drink like 8.5%. So I've had some samples of it before, and it didn't wow me. And I'm actually enjoying it more now that I'm able to sit and drink a whole 12 ounces. So there you go. I'm Todd the Beer Whisperer, and I'll be back. Oh man, I hate when I do that.